the untold history of the Scottish travellers. They've travelled the roads of Scotland for over 500 years. A people of movement, of craft, and of story. Yet their history, the story of the Scottish travellers, has long been left untold. Who were they? Where did they come from? And how did they survive centuries of prejudice, change, and loss to remain one of Scotland's oldest living cultures? This is their story. The history of the Scottish travellers stretches back to at least the 1500s. In the earliest records, they were described as wandering people, families who moved through the highlands and lowlands, repairing metal, mending tools, and trading goods. Some historians believe their roots lie in displaced Highlanders, people forced from their land during clan conflicts and early clearances. Others trace their ancestry even further back, to medieval craftsmen, storytellers, and broken clans after the Jacobite risings. Unlike the Romany Gypsies who travelled across Europe, the Scottish travellers were homegrown, an ancient native group shaped by the rugged land itself. They were known by many names: Nackans, Tinkers, Norkins, or simply travelling folk. Their homes were wagons and tents, their roads, the glens and lochs of Scotland. They lived by skill, trade, and pride. Life on the road was simple, but never easy. Men often worked as tinsmiths or horse traders, repairing kettles, sharpening tools, and crafting metal goods for farmers and villagers. Women sold flowers, wove baskets, or told fortunes. They camped by riversides or in wooded clearings, using canvas tents called benders, made from hazel rods and blankets. Travellers spoke their own secret language, cant or Beulah Regiad, a mix of Old Scots, Gaelic, and Romany words used to keep outsiders from understanding their talk. They were rich in oral tradition, passing down stories, legends, and songs instead of books. Many of the old Scottish folk ballads, the ones sung around fires or at ceilidhs, can be traced back to traveller storytellers. To the travellers, freedom wasn't a luxury. It was their identity. But that freedom came at a price. For centuries, Scottish society saw travellers as outsiders. In 1574, the Scottish Parliament issued laws to expel vagabonds and idle persons, and travellers were often caught under these rules, fined, imprisoned, or banished simply for being on the road. In the 17th and 18th centuries, local authorities tried to drive them away from parishes. Encampments were broken up. Families were harassed and pushed from place to place. During the 1800s, things grew even worse. The Industrial Revolution changed the face of Scotland, and as factories rose and roads expanded, there was less room for the wandering life. Newspapers called them a dying race. Others demanded they be forced to settle. Some children were taken by church missions or charities, sent to orphanages or schools to break the traveller ways. But no law could erase a culture built on pride, family, and story. In the 20th century, researchers began to realize just how much traveller culture had shaped Scottish identity. The songs of the travellers carried the heart of the Highlands, ballads of love, loss, and wanderlust. Storytellers like Duncan Williamson, born in 1928, became famous for preserving hundreds of old folk tales passed through generations. Writers and folklorists like Hamish Henderson recorded these voices, helping to keep a culture alive that had long been ignored. Travellers' music and tales gave Scotland something priceless, a living memory of its past, told not in books, but by word and heart. Even into the late 1900s, travellers faced discrimination in housing, education, and work. They were often forced to move on from roadside camps, treated as if their way of life was something to be ashamed of. But voices began to rise from within the traveller community itself. People spoke out for their rights, their traditions, and their place in Scottish history. In 2008, the Scottish government officially recognised Scottish gypsy travellers as a distinct ethnic group, acknowledging their centuries of heritage and the injustices they'd endured. Schools began to teach about their history. Artists, musicians, and activists started reclaiming traveller culture with pride. Today, thousands of Scottish travellers still live across the country, some settled, some still on the move. Many traditions remain: storytelling, craft, family gatherings, and the value of freedom. The modern world moves fast, and roads that once carried wagons now carry lorries and cars. But the traveller spirit endures. It's a reminder that Scotland's history isn't just castles and kings, it's people. People who lived by their hands, their hearts, and their word. The Scottish travellers are more than a chapter in history. They are Scotland's living link to its oldest ways, a story of endurance, identity, and pride. Their story was nearly forgotten. But now it's time to remember. The Scottish travellers, the people of the road. The storytellers of Scotland. Subscribe for more untold stories from history.